What is going on, everybody? It's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another live stream, and today I got for you the Mr. 220 million Omi, the Mr. 2 times remortgaged house, Mr. I don't know. How can we call you? How are you doing, Jordan?
I'm so well, man. Thank you so much for having me on. This is really exciting.
Thank you for coming on, for making the time. We have planned this since a long time, and now it's finally happening. So I'm really excited about this, and let's just not fuck around. Let's just ask the big questions here.
Go for it.
How did you end up with 220 million Omi, or is there Omi that I don't know about?
Well, it's pretty crazy story because I obviously moved a lot of my cryptocurrencies from other things into Omi over time, but I didn't think I'd ever hit 220 million. I was really trying to get to 100 million. 100 million was a huge number for me, and the price at the time was pretty high. Like I think it's 0.007, and it kept going down, and I kept buying it as it went down, and I still wasn't reaching the 100 million mark. I didn't reach the 100 million mark for like a year in of buying Omi, and then I remember I got to like 100 million, and Randy had about 80 million, and I watched Randy's channel all the time. And I was like, and Randy goes, "You have to get more." I'm like, "No way, I've got 100 million." He's like, "No, I've got 120 million." So I had to keep adding to my position to try and catch up to Randy. He was
crazy
he inspired me to get more over time.
And so that was when the bull market was probably in full mode. Did you buy the top?
I bought 007, maybe 008 once or twice. I probably bought Omi like 50 times total, quite a few.
Yeah.
A lot of the times I bought either small chunks like 1 million Omi, or there's a few times I bought like 20, 30 million Omi at once. So it was either a lot of small buys or just a few really large chunks. The large chunks I got at really good prices. So my average now is probably 0.017 around there. For me, it's extremely hard to work out the exact price, especially in US, because I'm in Australian dollars, and our US to Australian dollars is constantly fluctuating by huge amounts. Not just that, but I also have Omi under 3 different entities. So like my wife, myself, and my company. So you have to work out who bought what at what, and so the average is roughly 0.018 or 0.017.
Okay, but you certainly bought the bottom, right, on Ecomi?
Yeah, I bought a lot at 0.006. 0.006. I got maybe close to like 80 million around there.
Wow.
So
okay, so
that's the only reason I could get to over 200 million. I didn't think I was ever going to get there. I think I had 140 million when it was it went back up to 0.008. You guys probably remember that? Woo!
Yeah,
let's go.
Everyone is here. Guys, make sure to bring this stream out right now to everyone else and smashing the like button. Smash the like button really hard, because we are going to dive a little bit deeper here into that, how this Omi bag comes to fruition. What interests me the most is, you bought at every zeros, 0.007, 8, the 0.000s, almost 5, maybe even in the 0.005 in the dollars, right? How though did you learn about, or how did you realize that you have to buy Ecomi? How did you find Ecomi? Did you find Ecomi first, and how was that? Walk us through this process.
So do you want to start back further when I was first mining Bitcoin? Because like
sure. That's good.
Yeah, so I found out about cryptocurrencies through a friend of mine who was mining Bitcoin. And I'm a big nerd. All my friends are nerds. We used to build computers for fun. When I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, I was picking up like parts from the side of the road that people left of old computers, and I was building them, putting them together. And
wow.
I remember one time it actually like set on fire because it was obviously the parts were a bit wet from the road, and so it actually like smoked, and it was like black smoke coming out. My mum freaked out, but she never stopped me building computers. So then my friend that I used to build computers with, Andrew, he used to do a bit of mining. So then he helped me set up a whole bunch of Bitcoin miners, and we did mining together. And it was super, super noisy because we had all these computers like overclocked maximum and get the highest hash rate we could. and they were so noisy that I couldn't even have them in my house. So I left them at my friend's house, and so he had his lounge room was just full of computers, just mining Bitcoin 24/7. It was hilarious.
That's insane. Whoa, we just got Felipe as a new member, so that is good. A
Woo, that's
new rare
awesome.
hodler here in the look. This is crazy, right? I do a morning stream, crypto morning coffee every morning, right? Felipe is there every time, but you are here in the interview, and he becomes a member. So,
Woo, good luck.
Woo.
Yeah, he's cool. He chats to me every now and then. Yeah, so we've got an awesome
Let's
community
go.
here.
Can
Like,
I pull this up? Yeah, there you go.
yeah, this is one of the reasons I became I got so interested in Ecomi was because of the community and Veve.
Insane. I mean, we see it right now, right? They launch whatever like fan art contest, and everyone is posting like crazy their fan art that they're pumping out. So it's just one thing, yeah. But community is for sure crazy. So, but you got early into Bitcoin mining. But what did you do with all this Bitcoin? Did it make you rich, or did you sell it?
I sold it. I sold it all at like $200 or $300, maybe up to $500. I kept a little bit, and it went during the 2017 run. So when I was mining, it was like 2014, 2015, and then I sold all of it out pretty much. But I left a little bit in the wallet just because it was so hard to sell at the time, and it was such a small amount. It was like $5 or $10 worth. It ended up being worth $1,200 during 2017, and that's what got me back into it. I was like, oh, look at this wallet I just found. There's $1,200 in here. I sold it for $1,200 and got that cash in my bank, and made me start to believe in cryptocurrencies again and Bitcoin and think about it. And then I bought a bunch of cryptocurrencies at the end of the 2017 run that all just tanked. Like SIA coin. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Yeah.
And a bunch of others. And I actually have still got those somewhere in a wallet hidden away. But like it got me interested in it. But then everything just dropped, right? And the price just dropped really, really far. And everyone's like, oh, it's never coming back again. And other people are like, it's a 4-year cycle. And I just kept watching it, and I kept saving cash. So I was running 2 businesses, and I was saving a lot of cash on the side. And I remember my company got to like $100,000 in the bank, which is like amazing for me. I'd never seen that much money in my life. I grew up pretty poor, and with a single parent, just my mom. And so I never sort of saw that much money. When I had $100,000 in the bank, I was like, well, that's amazing. But what I do with it? And that's when it was 2019, and I was watching Bitcoin really closely. I also bought Tesla stock. I did extremely well with Tesla stock. And so I ended up making $120,000 in Tesla stock total around that in profit. And I also I started buying Bitcoin at about $8,000 in 2019. I think it was towards the end of it. But I was watching it tick up. I was watching it over time. I was like, look, it's coming back. It's coming back. I know where it's going to go. I've seen this before. So I started buying Bitcoin. I ended up with like 5 or 6 Bitcoins, which, doesn't seem like a lot when you used to mine them. But at
right now it seems even less. So I mean,
and so when I was buying them, it was like half the all-time high price, right? It wasn't that cheap. But then it went all the way to $69,000 during that next year. I think it was 2020. Was it 2021? We hit the peak. I can't remember Bitcoin.
I think it was 21. I think it was 21.
Okay.
2020 was when the big rally came into Christmas, and then I think we peaked in 2021. Yeah, because I think we had like a retracement to 28,000, and then from there we went like crazy. The retracement was somewhere.
Yeah, it was like a 2-year sort of bull run, right? It was quite a while. Lasted a while.
Yeah, although probably if you dissect it and you see the inflation-driven top that shouldn't have been higher, then so the false top basically. Probably the bull run is shorter, right? But many people consider that the real top. But so did you make a killing in the bull run, or did you kind of in the last bull run, or did you kind of?
I should have. No, well, I didn't, because I just rolled everything out into. I waited till everything dropped a bit, and I bought Bitcoin when it was Omi when it was down, but everything else has sort of dropped as well. So I guess I locked in sort of some losses and some profits, but it ended up sort of breaking even with a lot of that. So, and I just rolled everything into Omi. It was crazy, man. I had like 50 different cryptocurrencies, and every week I was just going through and saying, I'm going to sell that. I'm going to buy Omi. I'm going to sell that. I'm going to buy Omi. and just slowly I converted absolutely everything into Omi. At one point, I literally had 100% just Omi. That's all I had. I was probably close to 100 million Omi at that time. And yeah, so I had a chance though to swap. I had this C swap token. I think I've mentioned to you before. C swap is from Card Starter or card swap token from the Card Starter team, and I mined that, so it's completely free. And I could have sold that for $100,000. That's what it was worth.
Wow.
And I could have sold that for $100,000 while Omi was at 002. So I could have doubled my Omi bag from like, I think I had 120 million Omi. I could have got to 240 million then.
And you didn't.
And so that would have saved me a lot of money. I put a lot more money in since then. But yeah, so I only had Omi and I had the C swap token I mined for free. And then I didn't diversify until only this year. So I only had Omi, especially after the C swap token sort of got rug pulled, so that became valueless. Yeah. And so that at one point that hit $250,000, but that became no value at all. So I only had Omi at one point, and then I sold my Amazon company this year, and I rolled a lot of that money into diversifying a little bit into Bitcoin and ADA and Ethereum. But I still bought a lot more Omi, and that's how I came up with another 100 million Omi to get from 120 million to 220 million.
That though is the point where I have to say, guys, nothing of this is financial advice, because now we are getting into real risky territory. I mean, we just heard about a bag that went from 0 to 250,000 back to 0. Nothing is financial advice, and don't do this at home. You know this from Jackass, right? Don't do this stuff at home. Don't try this at home. Do your own due diligence. But okay, so the big question is now, in all of that craze. So first of all, do you regret? So what was the reason that you didn't take profits on the $250,000 bag?
Oh, that was just stupidity. That was greed. It was greed.
Okay.
Greed was the real. So what happened was, I'll tell you a real short summary as much as I can, because this thing went on for like 6 months, this whole process. So with C swap, you got to, if you were part of the Card Starter team, a community, they had the Card Starter token. If you bought the Card Starter token, which was to get into ICOs, to get into new tokens they're launching, and it was for the Cardano ecosystem. But back then, Cardano didn't even have a working, what are you called? You couldn't do any token other than ADA. Didn't have a mainnet for all the other tokens, the other ADA tokens. I forgot what you call them, the side tokens. But then so everything was under Ethereum. Yeah. So everything was under Ethereum. So CardStarter was under Ethereum, and if you had the CardStarter token, you could stake it, and when you stake it, you held it, you mined C swap tokens, which is for their exchange they were going to launch. It's supposed to be Card Swap, like exchange on the Cardano ecosystem, which never happened. So they went to merge with Sunday Swap. You would have heard of Sunday Swap exchange.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
So we were supposed to get our C swap converted to Sunday Swap token, and we we're all delusional, thinking that as soon as Sunday Swap launches, the price is going to go to the moon, and we're all going to get a really good swap. We actually were going to get a good ratio. So the $250,000, if I got it when I was supposed to, and the price didn't just tank because everyone sold out, I could have ended up with like $300,000 or $400,000. Not that much more, really, though. I should have just taken that massive profit. So big regret there. And then Omi at the same time, Omi was worth,
right?
Yeah.
Or even
Omi was worth 1.2 million. Yeah. So this is my first proper big bull run. So even though I watched the 2017 one and I took some profit because I had a little bit of Bitcoin, I didn't really understand investing. I really only started investing in 2019. So that's 4 years now, 4-year journey of up and down, up and down, up and down. I had some other really big hits. I don't know if you ever heard of NVX stock. It's Novax.
Is that Neum or something? No. What is that?
It was like a battery company, and they were sort of partly associated with Tesla at the time. And so I got in that really cheap, and that one jumped up like a 10x, more than 10x, which for stocks is pretty good. And I took profit much earlier on in that. But if I held it, I would have made like huge money.
Okay, so you mentioned before that basically the biggest problem was that you said, quote unquote, we were delusional. So what makes you think differently now about the 220 million Ecomi bag? Because other people could also say you're delusional, for
That's true.
believing
Yeah.
this. Yeah, or that remortgaging the house into that one. Maybe you can combine this with an answer, because we still don't know exactly how you found it and how you got so bullish on Ecomi, and then also why you think that this time is different in the sense of
Yeah. So
this bag is not comparable like in
yeah.
terms of
So
delusional. Yeah.
the card starter team actually were fine. They didn't really do anything wrong. In fact, they helped the Sunday Swap team with money. They actually helped fund them. But the Sunday Swap team were young guys. They were like early 20s, late teens, from college. They were college kids, and they got greedy, and so they cut off those tokens. We were supposed to get them. There was a deal in place. So Sunday Swap actually got sued by Cardstarter. And not just that did they get sued, but the 2,000 people that had CSwap all made a huge fuss on Twitter and everywhere. Everywhere that there was Sunday Swap, there was people talking about how bad Sunday Swap were. Sunday Swap token, as soon as we realized they rugged us, went from like almost $1 down to like 10 cents. So the Sunday Swap token is now pretty much worthless because of what they did. And had they actually given us our tokens, funny enough, they probably would be worth a lot more right now because there was a huge community behind it. And so they pissed off that 2,000 plus community. And the difference is Ecomi, as far as we know, aren't merging with anyone else. And so I was never really wrong about the card starter team. They just got wrecked. So, and which made us get wrecked as well. So it's the same as if Ecomi decided to merge with, say, Disney, and then Disney did something bad and cut off all our OMI. And that's very unlikely. David said he doesn't want to sell anytime soon. Maybe that'll happen in 3-4 years or something, but that won't be this bull run. I do plan to sell a lot of my OMI. I'm very happy to say that. I will still keep the certain percentage of OMI I will never sell. I definitely want to stay at the very top tier for the Master Collector program. So I've got that 10 million OMI staked. What's crazy is, you might only need 1 million OMI staked next run if OMI does a 10x on average, right? And then even after it drops, if it's still a 10x higher for next bear market, they'll probably say you only need 1 million OMI to be the top level MCP. But we won't know that for a while. But yeah, my point is I've learned my lesson from not selling, because my OMI was actually worth $1.2 million at one point. Randy had the same thing. Randy and I both were millionaires, right, on paper, and neither of us took profit. And so what I definitely should have done is take at least a little bit, right, just a little bit off the table, even 10%. Because if I just held that in cash and then I bought when it went down, I would have have even more OMI now. Just something simple like that.
Well, you're still an millionaire, right? So at least that is the OMI tokens are still in the millions. But yeah, that is very hard. And guys, this is super valuable, because in the end, this is what if you got in the end of this bull run and you're down and the next bull run is in front of you, remember what he just told you. He made the mistake twice, right? So or
They
at
were
least
all in the same like week or two, basically.
yeah,
was
exactly.
when
So
CSwap peaked and then OMI peaked, 008 around the same time period.
yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, I do plan to step out. Philip has a question. I do plan to step out slowly, so I'll just sell little by little by little. I don't want to dump the price. I don't think anyone should do that. It would be a terrible idea. And we're going to have weeks and weeks and weeks to sell. It's not going to be instant. Maybe there will be a peak, but we don't know when that is. And even if you sell at break even, it's not that bad an idea. Like if it's back on the way down, retaining capital is a good idea. But I think we're going to hit more than 3 cents. I know you probably don't want to do price predictions yet, but
Actually, it would be one of the next steps. But let's attend the question of our newest rare hodler here. So, do you guys have now built a plan for yourselves to do reverse dollar cost averaging or averaging out, right? Like a plan to sell step by step, still have to do it. Go ahead, answer that.
Yeah, so I have put together a plan in like a spreadsheet of exactly when I want to take profits, how much OMI, and I do plan to hold like 100 million OMI for just in case it goes crazy high. So and if it doesn't, too bad. Maybe I'll lose some profit, but I'm definitely going to average out slowly over time. But I still want to hold a huge bag for at least for 2025. Because some people think we're going to top out 2024. Some people think we'll top out 2025. And we don't know when, if it's like halfway through to the start of 2025. We're all just speculating and just seeing. We're looking from the past to try and predict the future. And as we know, it doesn't always go down the same way. There's that corny saying that the future, the past doesn't predict the future, but I can't remember. It often rhymes.
It doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, exactly. So
do you have a plan like that yourself, patient holder?
Yeah. So the plan is not yet set in stone, because I want to first see the absolute confirmed crypto reversal because of the macro factors as well. So we still have to break the trapdoor support. So if you draw like a horizontal line into the previous bull market supports, we are still hitting our head from under it. So it's overhead resistance. I want to see that flipped. And when that's flipped and I see how the market reacts in general, I will make the DCA out plan. So then there's still plenty of time, because in my opinion, Bitcoin tops out first. And when we see that, or we believe that Bitcoin tops out first, then only then we'll have our big altcoin season, right? And then or at the same time, somewhere around that time. And I'm in the camp of the people that believe that we are going to have that early 2025, just because of that. It seems that these liquidity cycles are stretching out a little bit longer. So yeah, that's basically my plan. But
what do you think? So you don't think that the crypto, like, what if Bitcoin doesn't stop running because of all the Bitcoin ETFs and everything? What if Bitcoin just keeps going up? When will you start taking profits on altcoins?
I would still stick to the plan as if it wasn't, because the narrative of what if Bitcoin doesn't stop running and just goes on and on and on, we had that in the last cycle as well, based on institutions are getting in and all this thing. And basically when people are telling that's for me the sell signal to increase my selling, because then we are at extreme euphoria. That was the last time when Elon Musk basically posted that Tesla went into Bitcoin and all the other institutions followed up. That was our top. That was our real top. Then we had a reversal that didn't reflect in the RSI anymore, that got blasted out by inflation and so on. I don't count that top really as a top. I count the first top as the real top. So yeah. So that's only my take on it. But I'll act accordingly.
I think it depends how much you have as well as a bag, because I've got so much. If it even does like a 10x only, which is like not even all-time high, I'll already be at $3 million Australian, so maybe 2 million US roughly. So I'll be taking a little bit of profit, as I said, all the way along. But I want to keep that 100 million bag or more of OMI for the very top of Bitcoin, and see what happens then.
But I think go ahead.
It's going to be so interesting, man. Like this is fireworks. I'm sure you see the storm coming. Just like they've got to print money, they've got to lower interest rates. We've got the spot coin ETF. We've got the halving. We've got so many different catalysts happening, essentially all around the same time, right? So it could be that 2024 has a big blow off top for Bitcoin, but only time will tell.
I think with the Bitcoin ETF, it's a done deal. Then we will have a run up that results in a blow off top. But even after, no one will hit the blow off top right at the wick, right? So, but you will have like 2 weeks or so of sideways action on the top. Looks like a blow off top in the weekly chart then, right? One candle up, one candle down. But there's still plenty of room to take profits when that happens. My question is more for you. With that big bag of OMI, are you worried that something could go wrong on this project?
Nah, not at all now. Zero. I have zero doubt now. I had doubt before we had the OMI utility, just the very basic MCP points. That's enough for me to make me 100% sure. Also before, one of my biggest concerns, and this is when I had like 120 million OMI, was when we hadn't migrated to the Ethereum chain. From Go chain to Ethereum chain, so many things could have gone wrong with that migration. And so
Yeah.
that was one of the times I was like holding my breath. Um, there, yeah, there's been a few times before we had Disney. That's when I had a smaller bag of Omi, and once
Yeah.
we had Disney and Marvel, that's when I started buying even more. Right, like so we've had all these catalysts along the way, and so many things I've seen from the team and everything. And yeah, I know there's been so many delays, right? Like, and Reese, Reese promised us all these exchanges and all this stuff, and
Four to
that was
five.
super frustrating, disappointing, and that's part of
Yeah.
the reason why I didn't sell right at that top, because that was during the IMX migration
Mm-hmm.
that we hit 008. We hit it like 3 times. It went like like three
Yeah.
times. Um, and so that was over 6 months. Over 6 months, I had time to take profit at about 1.2 million. But Omi was like, Reese and other people had said, like, as soon as we get onto the IMX ecosystem and the Ethereum chain, that we're gonna get exchanges listed. So I was like, wow, 008 can't be the top if we're about to get some exchanges, right? So I was waiting for that. Again, like I said, it was greed. I could have taken a little bit of profit, but it's really, really interesting what's happening now, and because of all the different things I've seen, and I'm so in touch with the community, because I've got 3 whale groups, right? I'm
Yeah.
associated with 3 whale groups on Telegram. I'm on YouTube all the time with all you awesome guys, and I've got the Around the Ecomiverse show, and I've literally interviewed Reese multiple times and a whole bunch of other people, and I'm so connected to it that I can see what's happening. And I feel
Yeah.
like most people that are just looking from the outside, if they haven't done all the research, they think I'm crazy. I know this because my brother-in-law has literally texted me like, "Jordan, sell your Omi. It's only going down." This is a few months ago, where he's like, "Oh man, you're gonna lose all your money." And this is probably the bottom where Omi hit 00055 around there. He was like, please sell it, and like he actually thinks NFTs are not going to last. He's like, NFTs is a fad,
Mm-hmm.
cryptocurrencies are a scam, and so there's a lot of people like that just don't understand the future and what's happening, and so yeah, I really believe in this project 100% now, and I have done that for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely that last bit of showing that Omi is important to the Omi holders was very important. And obviously, we're about to get bronze tickets as well, and I think that'll happen this year. If we get those bronze tickets as well, just those 2 bits of utility, the staking or holding Omi and getting MCP points, and then also bronze tickets, that puts Omi, really, really in a great position for next year. And then if we get just a few exchanges, we don't even need any big ones. We'll probably still smash through the all-time high. And we don't know where it's going to go. Dr. Stuff said it could be in the dollars, right? And
Yeah.
he's a financial analyst, right? He literally, for like his job, he checks companies and businesses to see how well they're doing. Like, he
Yeah.
knows what he's talking about. He's helped crypto reign with thousands of projects, right? So
Crazy.
Dr.
Crazy.
Stuff is a very, very smart man. So the IQ, that's one of the things I love about the Around the Coinverse, when we're all on together, like you, Dr. Stuff, Crypto Rain. We've got so many people, and the IQ in the room is high. Like, I feel like I'm not the smartest one in the room anymore, which is great. So like the idea that all of us are wrong is so far fetched that, like, maybe it's possible, and maybe all of crypto goes to zero, but I just don't see that happening. I see that the odds of everything going well is so much higher than anything going wrong.
For me, you know that also on Around the Ecomiverse, I'm not so much about the odds that we are all wrong. We have seen that the masses, that the majority is often heading the wrong way. So for me, that's not any implication that, like, 5 people in the room saying Ecomi is good investment, other 5 people will tell you about, I don't know, what was it, like Terra Luna is good investment, right? For me, it's the hard facts. And I've told it many times, I shifted my gear to more bullish when I saw the integration of the Ecomi token into the app, because that was a statement to all of the brands that were to the app, yo, we are going to link that crypto to the app now. Okay. Since then, we do not see so much more around the Ecomi token, right? So it's like, hey, guys, we have to deliver something, and now we can go back to brand development and so on, and leave that Omi thing on the side. Do you think that that is what they're doing, or do you think that they're
I don't,
just developing something massive there?
Yeah, I don't want to get everyone's hopes up or anything, but I'm really excited with this week. I think something big's happening. They've said that there's going to be a surprise. I saw Reese tweeting in Twitter or X, and
Mhm.
he had me a bit excited because Reese mostly, he mostly covers the Omi and Ecomi side. He doesn't cover Veve that much. And for Reese to
Mhm.
say that we're going to have a really big week, like that's
Okay.
pretty bullish to me. And I think there's no way we get out of this year. We've got 2.5 months left. I think there's no way we get out of this year in triple zeros. Put
Mhm.
my foot in the sand, say, yeah, well, draw a line in the sand, whatever you want to call it, that I think we're going to be above triple zero by the end of this year.
By the
And I
end of
think we're
this
going to be,
year, like 001, something like that, or
I think 002 around there, maybe
then we have
more.
to revisit the price predictions that we made on your channel.
Yeah. Well, most of them I made for 2024, 2025. I think I did make one for this year. I think it was 0006 to 0008, which is still possible because Bitcoin
Yeah,
Omi doesn't take long to run up. Though I also did give a caveat that
0068. Yeah.
yeah, 006 to 008,
Yeah.
but it was if we get some exchanges, like even one decent exchange, and we have the utility. So we're sort of halfway there in the utility. If we get bronze tickets as well, and we get one big exchange, I still think we could get to 006 this year.
Mhm.
I mean, just think about Omi went from in 2021. Omi went from 4 zeros to 1 0 in only it was only about a month. It was just over 1 month. I think I
Mhm.
counted out 44 days. In 44 days, it lost 3 zeros in 44 days. So we only need to lose 1 0, right, to get from 0009, which we are now, 0009 to 009. That's only losing 1 0. That would only take a week, right? 1 week
I
of
think
really bullish news.
if we get and I come to that statement right there from Social Omi Homie in a second, but if we get one big exchange, then we get them all. Because usually what I have seen in altcoins is there is no such thing that only Kraken lists or only, I don't know, only Coinbase lists a coin and the rest just ignores it. Usually the volume goes up so high just because of that the other ones also want to list it to grab something of that market share. So I think if we get one, the others will follow. Then it's like last call for the flight to take out to take off. If you see that happening.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that we just get bronze tickets this year and nothing else, because it seems like they might be saving everything for the bull run, which some
Yeah.
people say that's really smart as well. So there's multiple ways of looking at it, right? Yes, we'll get pumps from exchanges being listed like during the bull run, bigger pumps than now. But at the same time, you can also think that if we were on all the exchanges now, like IMX is on like 200 exchanges, if we were all on 200 exchanges right now, like IMX is, then during the bull run, when people find out about Omi, it's really easy to buy Omi. So
Yeah.
it'll also pump it up potentially even more because we're already there. So it's different ways of looking at it, right? So
I look at it from that from the same perspective as many people do. That the exchange listing in itself is one of the biggest news catalysts that you can have. And when it basically the announcements comes out, whales allocate money to ride that wave, and then they sell the news. But when the selling of the news comes in, usually just already the next exchange pops in the announcement, right? So we have my favorite example is Chili's, because Chili's just has this rocket, like this straight up green line where just all of the exchanges came in one by one into the bull run. So they really lined up their narrative to ride this wave. And I think if they are planning to do this, then it's absolutely great for us, and I'm fine with that. The problem is if we are heading into the bull run and we don't see exchanges, that would be
yes,
a real problem.
I agree. Yeah. So it's high. It's either way, I still think we're going to smash through all time high because we got that with even less exchanges than we have now. But I definitely could see a much bigger price action movement if we do get, like you said, exchange, and then if
Exactly.
we also get Omi utility during that, and Vive, if they just have all these amazing catalysts all lined up like every few days, the narrative would be insane. Like we could get that crazy, 10 cents, 20 cents. And yeah, that's going
10
to be
cents
big, right?
would be insane, right? But
What's
because
10
then,
cents? Is that 30 billion? 10 cents is about 30 billion, right? Market cap around there.
so right now we have what, 200 million? No, 300 million.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So let's calculate the 000. Yeah, that's right. Let's talk a little bit about this here, because we have seen it, we have discussed it on our streams probably, right? I don't know if you have on around the Ecomiverse, but
I don't think we really
social
talked about it much, but maybe
Okay.
someone mentioned it.
They actually didn't take the digital out. They took out blockchain out of the name.
Yeah.
So I mean, I see what he meant here, but they basically renamed Orbis, blockchain technology and digital collectible. I don't know what, something like that, the name, into they took the blockchain out. So yeah, what do you think about this?
I think I saw Alex in Twitter just saying it's because they want the name to be shorter. Like everyone's making a huge deal. They're like, we just want the name to be a bit shorter.
Okay, he said that it
I
needs
think
to be
something
shorter.
like that. Yeah, maybe I'm taking it out of context. But
Yeah.
it was something pretty simple. Like why is everyone
Yeah.
so worried that it doesn't mean anything? But they did that after they'd already actually added Omi utility, which is good. I think that's they need to do it in that order, right? Imagine if they took blockchain out and they hadn't given us any Omi utility, man. Everyone would have been so pissed.
Yeah. To be fair, though, they don't have their own blockchain, right? So Ecomi is just
it's not a blockchain
it's just a
company.
ERC20 token. But that said, I will comment on this as well. Just quick thing, we have 35 people around about here, so smash up the like button, guys, to get more people in here to push the stream out. So everyone, like, please. I've seen Alex saying, "Hey, we are doing physical comics and so on." Now Veve is dropping physical only version, took the digital out, or the blockchain out, basically. So obviously we are in the disbelief phase of the market. So everything will cause more disbelief, right?
Oh no,
So
Veve's
what is
becoming a toy company. Veve's not going to do NFTs anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically, probably this will be the narrative for some people that want to get everything wrong, or everything in the wrong way, right?
I'll tell you guys, I sold physical things, and physical things are very, very, very difficult to deal with. You got to deal with all these factories. You got to deal with all the shipping and all the logistics. It is a nightmare. There's no way they would go from fully digital to fully physical. It's a million times harder. Like it's way easier what they do right now doing digital. So yes, they'll have some physicals, but they're going to be majority still NFTs, digital guys. It has to be. It's so much easier, and it's the future. You guys have seen the Apple Vision Pro, right? It just looks unbelievable. I can't wait to see it.
So why do you think they are launching this physical comic right now? What is the reasoning behind this?
I think Dave just wanted to do that. I think Dave, and it might be a way in for physical collectors to get something and be like, oh, what's this brand? Look it up and then find the digital version. Oh, they have all these digital versions. Why not try that? Look, the future's going very digital. Like everyone knows where the future's going, right? It's not going more and more physical. It's going more digital. For the better or for the worse. I mean, hopefully it's for the better. Hopefully we have some sort of crossover of like, yes, we have these, digital aspects everywhere, but we can also still live in our physical world some of the time, right? You don't want to be inside your room all the time. You want to get out of the house and be in the garden, right?
Yeah. But so for me, the physical makes absolute sense, because they have created a scene of digital collectors, and many collectors, including me, are like first time, for example, Marvel comic collectors in the digital format. Never have bought a single Marvel comic in my life before Veve, right? So, but I always looked at this and said, man, this is cool, but I've never bought one. So now they have a physical scene and a digital scene, but they have no bridge into both worlds, right? And for Marvel, they're a business partner. I mean, if you calculate everything together, like the money printer that they are for Marvel, it's quite impressive, right? So I think the ultimate end game for Veve and Marvel is launching phygital, like launching both sides at the same time. But for that, you have to bridge. You have to get the the physical collectors in touch with Veve and the digital in touch with the physical Marvel. So I think that's what they are trying to achieve there. But yeah. So a little bit more of the FUD here. Characters in Veveverse aren't NFTs either on the blockchain. What do you say to this?
I don't know about that because the Veve NFTs are on Immutable blockchain, so still a blockchain. And just remember, all those Web3 projects still point back to servers which run all the files whenever they're high quality, right? So any of those servers go down, those Web3 things are no longer Web3. Right, so there's nothing really Web3 unless you count little crappy JPEGs with low resolution, right? Because you can embed. Pardon?
Because it's stored on centralized cloud.
That's right. Because anything high quality can't really be stored on the blockchain right now. I know there's some blockchains that are working at making larger storage inside a blockchain. But like for instance, with Bitcoin, the ordinals, you can store up to like 2 megabytes, something like 2 megabytes in a Bitcoin ordinal or in a Bitcoin blockchain space.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not practical to have gigabytes worth of data inside blockchain at the moment. This doesn't make any sense. And when we have all these high quality collectibles that Ecomi, Veve have, they need to take up a lot more space. So I'm really not worried at all about the whole Web3, Web2 thing. I think that's irrelevant for the majority of people, and that's it will be nice when the NFTs are interoperable, but it doesn't really matter too much overall for the average person.
I kind of disagree a little bit there, and I think they have to push the Web3 narrative when the bull run comes back on, and I think they will. I think they will push the narrative to get all these people attracted that are buying Chainlink, Web3 Oracle, right? They are, for example, you could make the argument, why not store everything on a Filecoin, StoreJ, or Arweave, right? Why not have smart contracts to automatically store that model on such a decentralized storage solution, for example, right?
They cost money though, right? Those aren't free.
Yeah,
so
true, but
have to pay a fee.
Using Amazon Web Services costs money as well for the company. So
it probably costs significantly less than storing on a blockchain at the moment. I don't know. I haven't looked into the numbers, and not just that, but the speed at which Amazon Web Services work is probably a great deal faster. And anyone who's been on the Veve app, you want your things to load really quickly. Like the most annoying thing is when you're trying to set up and show somebody one of your digital collectibles and it takes like 10 seconds, 20 seconds to load. Now 10 seconds, 20 seconds is not that long. If you think about old computers that used to take like 5 minutes to load up a picture, but kids these days, like they want everything instantly. Everything's like we're like the now generation, right? Not really our generation. Maybe like, I guess you're in between the younger generation. I think you're about 10 years younger than me, right?
I don't know. I'm actually 33, so.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
You look younger. I thought you were younger than that. Well, I'm 36, so just a few years older. Okay. So you're the same generation as me then, but the younger kids, like just one generation under, right? Like 20 years under, that everything is instant for them. They've never known slow computers. They don't know what it is for like a computer to take 5 minutes to boot up. I showed my son a YouTube video of like an old computer booting up. He's like, Dad, it's still going. I'm like, yeah, that's how long it used to take to turn a computer on.
Or when your modem made noises.
Yeah.
JMET08, I don't know if that's a name or a code, but do you think the collectibles will run up before Omi does? How do you feel? We have talked so much about Ecomi, obviously, because you're the Ecomi whale, but how about the Veve collectibles? What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think probably the collectibles will run up a little bit, but they'll be very different, right? The way the collectibles run up compared to the way Omi runs up. It obviously depends a lot more on users for Veve. So it really depends how Veve plays it and how they get more users. Whereas Omi will just go crazy when we get exchanges and utility. So they've got different catalysts. And obviously the bull market was going to be great for everyone. The bull market's going to be great for collectibles and great for Omi and great for other cryptocurrencies. So, I mean, last time, like you saw the NFT prices, right? They just went wild everywhere. Everything's going off. The only thing I can think that might slow down a little bit now is because so many NFT projects went down to close to zero. Like I know so many, like
Yeah.
like heaps. My cousin was in one and he's lost like just about everything. So like on Solana, they had heaps and heaps of NFT projects. Cardano has a whole bunch. They were everywhere, and I think what like 95% or so of NFT projects have gone down to, just a tiny bit, a
Yeah.
fraction of what they were. I mean, even VVs obviously have dropped, and people are like, oh my god, VV is going to zero. But if you look at like a ratio of overall NFTs versus VV NFTs, they've held their value by far, and all the grails are still way up from retail. Like most of them are
Yeah.
like 10x up. But let's not look at that. Let's just look at how it's gone down a little bit.
I would answer that very short and simple. I would answer yes, but not before, after Omi. I would say the Veve collectibles are going to pump after Omi. And I think in the last bull run, it was the same. We had a very big NFT season, a couple of months, I think, after the Disney collectibles and so on. And that was when Omi had already topped out long time at 1.3 cents. At that time, when Disney golden moments came out and the Immutable migration happened and everything, Ecomi was moving between 0.005 and 0.008 back and forth, like had at this big something like a mountain with a peak cut off. So I would say the NFTs are the last things that are going to pump, and that is a good thing, because when we have a lot of money parked in Omi and Omi is a currency to buy collectibles, then that's our way how we can make the second killing on the collectibles if it happens.
I was about to say, if you can buy the VV NFTs with Omi in the app, like that's gonna be a game changer, because I know like probably 20, 30 whales that are addicted to VV already. If they can accidentally use their Omi in there, they're just gonna blow through the Omi pretty quickly and end up with like thousands more collectibles. Randy is a good example of this. Randy loves the VV. He loves the NFTs. Like he has so many, and he said like the other day he put $250 into I can't remember which one it was now. It's one of the it might have been one of the Marvel Mighties. He bought a bunch of the Marvel Mighties where he should be buying Omi, because he knows Omi's going to outperform it. Omi's going to do maybe 100x roughly, and the collectibles might do 10x. But so people like Randy, if he had Omi in there, man, he would spend probably half his Omi pretty quickly just in VV, and so that'll make all the prices go up from everything else, right? If you get 100, 200 of these big Omi whales to put their Omi into collectibles, that's just going to make the price go crazy. Especially if Omi's up by then as well, right? So because then people are going to have a lot more money to spend in the app. So it's going to be really, really good when they do that. I can see how Omi and Veve could both grow really, really well together. Like I see the relationship, and as it matures, right? Like they go on some more dates and they get some more utility together. Like they get married a bit more. It's going to be like unreal. I think we could be, very, very lucky that we're in this time and space being able to find this project before it sort of blows up. What do you think?
Man, I don't know, because I think the necessity with Omi is like you if you have Omi, you have to embrace the Web3, the degens in crypto and everyone who wants to know this. And I mean, you see here, for example, SoCal, I don't know, the city probably. Omi Homie says, that's not FUD, those are facts, not our keys, not our NFTs. Ecomi can access and so on. So he wants custody of his collectibles. Do you think that is achievable? Do you think that you can satisfy that portion of, let's say, probably more investors or even collectors with that really want to have like a wallet and store their, like, let's say, store their token, their certificate without the data file, obviously?
Are you asking me if you think they can do it? Like,
yeah,
they can. They technically they definitely can do it. It's just a matter of if they do it, and I think they've also got that problem with the licenses, right? Depending on what the licenses allow. licensor or what only. So it depends because some of them might say no, and obviously if Marvel says no, that's a big problem because like half their stuff is Disney and Marvel, right? So if all the others say yes, though, I mean, like I know Ron English and those sort of ones, they want their stuff to be interoperable. So I think a lot of it could go, So yeah, I think it's definitely possible. Whether they add it or not, I don't know if we'll ever get our keys from it. But if you can transfer it to another wallet like MetaMask, then it doesn't matter because then you'll get the keys from inside MetaMask, right? So then it'll be
they will definitely have to have the big problem will be that if I recall it right, they have to have you mint it on Ethereum because they are actually not minted. They're just stored in the database, and the roadmap to which item belongs to whom is actually minted on Ethereum. So the token itself is not, and that's where all this whole shebang with
you have to pay the gas fee, which is not a problem at the moment, but it will be when the bull run's going. The gas fees are like $100.
It also creates the debate about the first appearance, right? That we had with, I think a lot. For example, Hello K was very outspoken about this, earned a lot of hate for it. That he said, yeah, but it's not on the blockchain. If you mint it and you mint this Batman after DC mints that Batman, then that Batman is not the first appearance anymore, and so on. So we had that whole discussion. So probably if they do it now, they will ignite that discussion about what's real NFT on the blockchain and whatnot, right?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing they can do as well is they can move the NFTs inside the Immutable ecosystem, which there are quite a few projects in there. Yeah. So it'd be like a layer. It'd be like a layer 2. Yeah, it'd be layer 2 interoperable, not layer 1.
I think they should do that because it would
satisfy. That'd be easy. Yeah. That should be really easy.
They will, because other than that, why would you be on Immutable if you don't do anything with that ecosystem, right?
Yeah. Did you see Immutable partnered with Amazon Web Services like yesterday? I think it was. So it's
that actually gets me excited, right? They partnered with it to enable blockchain gaming and so on and all that stuff. So I really hope that there is a lot of this coming for Ecomi and Veve for sure.
I think Immutable is a really good chain for them to be a layer 2 solution on. Like Immutable has so many different projects running on it, and some of them are doing really, really well. It'd be so cool if you could, I don't know, maybe take your what's it called, Illuvium. Take your Illuvium NFT and put it into Veve. Yeah. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, in general, imagine someone could hang his mutant ape or CryptoPunk into the Veveverse. I mean, it would draw a lot of attention if you can.
They said they're going to do that, right? That's on the roadmap. That's actually on the roadmap.
Yeah. So that basically means you can connect your MetaMask to the Veveverse and then transfer Ethereum ERC based NFTs.
Yeah, it's definitely coming in. It's more like people are just not sure if it will be able to get ours out, I guess.
So you get it back, you say, or ours out?
The VV ones. Yeah, but we definitely will get other ones coming in for the Veveverse. So that'll be exciting. Do you have a VR headset?
I don't actually. You have?
Yeah.
Nice. Which one is
that?
I
want to get the 3. I haven't ordered it yet. I'll be ordering it soon, but it's
how is it?
Maybe it's like a $800 Australian. I think it's $500 USD.
Yeah. How's the experience?
Oh man, it's really fun. Just even on that one, like you can hardly see the pixels and the quality is really, really good. Obviously, it depends on what you're playing. Have you used many VR headsets or any?
I have used it. On many occasions. So, for example, I was in Stuttgart. It's a city in Germany. Home to the Mercedes, right? And some firefighters were showing kids, like school kids, how it is to run in a burning building by using VR headsets. Pretty cool. And then they had to they just carried like a tube that big to simulate how it is to run into the house with it, and absolutely amazing to use this technology for educational purposes. So I tried this. I tried it at the automobile trade show where like truck trade show and so on. I tried it at a friend's house with a shooter. So yeah, a lot of opportunities.
They're really fun. In my area, they've got actually like they've got a huge like empty hall you can go into, and you put these
Yeah.
backpacks on, which have like a laptop in the backpack, and there's full on awesome commercial headsets. They're really good quality, and you have these guns, so you carry like these big virtual guns around, and as soon as you put it on and you step into this like empty area, this whole world comes alive. And now it looks like you're in this small room, and you've got to like run around and dodge all these aliens and shoot them and fight, and you got to team up, and like it feels like you're in another space, like it full on like another world. So I could see us doing that with the Veveverse at some point. But like it's such a cool experience that like I was fully portable, everything's Wi-Fi, and you can like full on you're in the experience. And I think it even had a bit of like feedback. So if you get shot, like like it shakes and stuff. Like it was really fun. You haven't done anything like that? So
No,
I guess
I only played a shooter, but not with impact or with anything like that. It was already a couple of years ago, but I was teaching someone a language, right? And that kid was more into games than into learning language. And he was like, "Hey, try this out." And now here, take this gun. And it was like something like Counter-Strike and on the goggles, so it was pretty good.
yeah.
I want to go into.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
How much is enough? It's never
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, right.
I told Randy I've got enough Omi. He's like, no, buy more Omi. You guys should not talk to Randy about Omi because he's gonna make you buy more Omi. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and you talk to Randy all the time. That's how you end up with 220 million, right?
Yeah.
But but seriously, I mean, he is asking how much is enough.
Well, it depends on your situation. So obviously, it depends where you are. You know, what if you have a family to look after, how much you need, if you want to make enough money so you never have to work again, or do you just want to make enough money so you can buy a nice house and have no debt? Like what? It depends on your situation. For me, 220 million Omi is a sufficient amount. Even at all-time high, I can already buy my dream property, which will be awesome. And
cool.
I'll still have to work. That won't be like unlimited money. But if it gets to 10 cents, that's unlimited money. I'm like set for life. So, so it just it depends on how high Omi goes and what your expenses are and what you want to do with it.
If not, you take another 4-year cycle and find another good project, right?
Well, I mean, I've got a bunch of other smaller alts that, you know, some of them are 5 million, 3 million, 4 million market caps. I've got, you know, a few $1,000s. If any of those ones do 1,000x, I'm already at $1 million just from those. And I've also got enough ADA, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana that just those alone should get me to about $1.5 million. So even if Omi went to 0, I'd still be okay. I would not be happy with it, but very, very likely that Omi will go up rather than down. But yeah, it is good to diversify. It just gives you a little bit more, makes you a little bit more relaxed. That said, do you know much about Warren Buffett, about his story?
Yeah, I have a massive audiobook from him, The Snowball. I have with how he met Charlie Munger and how they built everything. So yeah, a lot.
So you know that Warren Buffett actually bet everything on like 1 or 2 companies early on because he didn't have that much money, right? So even though all these billionaires and stuff, they talk about diversifying and buying index funds and stuff, that's because they've got billions of dollars. You don't want to risk your money when you got billions. But when you got almost nothing, then I think, not financial advice, but I personally think it's better to put everything on one project and just like really watch that project, make sure, you know, you've done all your research on it.
Yeah.
So I think diversification is good if you've got enough money to diversify. But if you want to accelerate your wealth, then you need to, you know, swing a bit harder. So that's my, especially it depends on your age as well. Like if you're 60, 70 years old, then you might want to be more careful with your money. But if you're like 20 or 30, what do you got to lose? You got like another 50, 60 years to make back money if you lose anything, right? So it depends on your situation, your age. What do you think about that one?
Look, first of all, for me, there's one principle. If someone is wealthier or has more money than me, then I tend to listen to what that person says. In that case, you definitely have way more money than I have. So none of this is financial advice, as you said, but I always like to hear what people did and what for example, your approach is and how you made like good returns in, for example, on Tesla and on other stuff. So you probably put a lot in Tesla and you didn't diversify and like in ETF format, you put very concentrated. And at this point, I agree with you, because my strategy, I'm a little bit more diversified than one project. But if you take the approach of an outsider out of crypto, it's not diversification if you are in 20 crypto projects and not in bonds and not in gold and not in many stocks and so on. You are not diversified in their eyes. So you could take the same step back and say, look, if you are only in crypto, you're not diversified, right? But for most of us, this is the only shot. Or like if you buy government bonds at 5% per year, you have to get really, really old to enjoy your wealth, right? So I tend to agree with you. And with that, going back on the other question, how much is enough? I told this on the Crypto Morning Coffee stream as well. I think it's not about how much Omi, it's how much money you have, it's worth, and how much you want to multiple it, right? So, for example, if you have $100, you live in India, somewhere in a small village, and that thing goes 100x, that altcoin, then you're probably a main man, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's really interesting you say that, because I talk a lot with Crypto Rain, and Crypto Rain's he's all about more than one cycle. He's sort of about 2 or 3 cycles, right? That anybody can go with a small amount of money through 2 to 3 of these cycles over 8 to 12 years, and you can end up, or even less if you're like now, it's the end of the bear market just before the bull, right? It'd only be 5 years from this cycle to the second cycle. So right now you can in about 5 to 6 years time, with dollar cost averaging in and putting as much as you can go from having maybe like $1,000 to easily a millionaire if you play your cards right. So that's like it's if you look at multiple cycles, and I still believe there will be multiple cycles, but obviously that Bitcoin spot ETFs made us question, because Bitcoin might turn to gold, where it just sort of goes up a huge amount and then it becomes very stable, almost like a stable coin. Gold doesn't fluctuate much anymore. Gold doesn't really move.
I mean, it's 7,000 years old as a real asset, store of value, something like that. So obviously it has cooled down over time.
That's right. Yeah. And well, when they did the spot gold ETF, it did a 10x, and then it hasn't moved a lot since then. So
that's true. That's
potentially
crazy.
Bitcoin could do something similar to that, but that 10x would probably take a while still. But what would Bitcoin then be, like 10 trillion? No, less than that, $5 trillion asset. But it could.
But that's if you have in 10 years. So gold went to 10 trillion, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it went from 1 trillion to like 10 trillion, I think. Roughly.
Yeah, exactly. So if Bitcoin was going to 5, it would only be half the market cap of gold, right? So at the moment, we are in the territory where Bitcoin and the entire crypto space has less market cap than some companies, right? I think what was it? Was it Nvidia stock valuation, or I don't know which companies? Because I don't have the market caps in my mind. But if you look it up, there are some that are in the market cap before, and that's just one company versus a digitally capped store of value. And that's where I say probably the returns can be extremely high, because people are assuming that Bitcoin will always have lower, diminishing returns. But what is if the real big catalyst kicks in, like, for example, ETF? Will it go back to a higher return than the previous bull run, for example? It can happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, the other thing is that, what was I going to say? Bitcoin. It's gone. It's gone. Yeah, that's okay. I can see we've got some questions here, or some answers. One of the guys was replying to SoCal. SoCal said that there's only like 100, I think it was 120 people that have more than 100 million Omi. But then Sandals Nation said that there's a lot of people have multiple wallets. So maybe there's a lot more that have 100 million OMI that have multiple. I mean, I know I have multiple wallets too. One of my wallets does hit over 100 million OMI though.
Okay, yeah, maybe there are more people that have it spread out, or what you could also make the argument that one person has 10 wallets with 100 million OMI. that you can also say, right? So
Well,
we
there's
don't know.
definitely some whales I know that have over 1 billion OMI. I know at least 2 or 3 whales that have over a billion OMI.
I wonder when these guys are going to take profits.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Have you talked to one of them, how he would approach this? Because you also need the liquidity to dump
Yeah, I
100
speak to
million.
one. I've spoken to one of them about it. It like a lot of these people that have billions of OMI, they have millions of dollars, so they don't need money now. They're very, very happy to long-term hodl. So I think a lot of those guys are looking like 10 years out. They're not looking for one cycle.
Yeah. But they will, for sure, they will lock in profits. But when this rocket really goes, with the exchanges and so on, it doesn't even matter if someone drops 100 million into the market. I mean, we have seen so many mega whale dumps being absorbed in altcoin in like this frenzy when everyone FOMOs in. I think in the end, clearly it would rip OMI apart if someone dumps 1 billion into the order book, but no whale does this. I think whales are smarter than that. Yeah.
That's how OMI got to 00055 is because there was a huge whale that I think actually we were out of triple zeros. We were like around 001, and then this whale after FTX collapsed, they had to liquidate 1 billion OMI, and so they just dumped. They had like 3 or 4 orders of 100 million at once, and then smaller orders, and so they dumped OMI all the way down to like 0006 or something like that. But 1 billion OMI got bought up during the bear market, during the biggest FTX crypto crash ever. Another thing to mention with SoCal is talking about the percentage of wallets that hold the percentage of OMI. Keep in mind that Dogecoin has 10 wallets that own like 80% of all Dogecoin, and Doge still went and went all the way to like 60, 70, 80 billion market cap at one point. Right?
Yeah.
So all those whales didn't dump everything they had. So
it's basically impossible to dump everything that you have, and if you have 1 billion, it's also already enough if you shave off 100 million and then it pumps more and you shave off another 100 million and in the end you sit at 800 million OMI and you're I think many people think that because they have, like me for example, 3 million OMI, where I would say at some point I would just sell it all for the return, that a whale with 1 billion would act in the same way. I don't think so, because we have seen it time and time again also on Bitcoin, that they shave off something profit, then they wait for the downturn and they scoop up more. Obviously, if you consider that OMI will not survive one bull run and then the next bear market and okay, everyone goes out, and that's another story. But if you think the project continues,
if they've survived this bear market, I think it's unlikely they're not going to survive the next. Can you guys hear the rain? It's raining really heavy here. Is it bothering anyone?
Is that crypto rain? No, I can't hear it. Just joking.
Oh man, like it's hard for me to hear anything. It's going crazy out there. But yeah, this is a good microphone. It stops most of the background sound.
Yeah, I don't hear anything. I don't know about the guys in the chat if they have anything from your side, but I don't think so. So just in comments here, and this is something that I just didn't pick it up quite yet, but Felipe actually mentioned it here before. Where are the big Ecomi offices? So some people apparently expect Ecomi to have a big office because they have 100, I think. How much do they have? They went beyond that 70. What did they say? The 70 employees?
I think they do a lot of work from home, which is totally fine. I know a lot of companies that run work from home now, and they do really well. What was one of them? Some huge company that every single employee works from home. Oh, Binance. Do you guys know that? Binance has no office.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
So Binance works. Everyone works from home.
Everyone works from home. Yeah.
Yeah. So, FTX as well.
FTX. Everyone works from Bahamas. Yeah, from the Bahamas.
Yeah, from the Bahamas. They work from. No, but in all seriousness, I think because you have, for example, if you have software development or so, many people think that software developers have to sit all in one room to be able to code together, which is not the case. In fact, for example, at our company, software developers sit all around the world, sit in Brazil, sit in I don't know where. So it's not unusual that these teams come together online to work together. So I wouldn't search for like a big enterprise with an Ecomi logo on top. Obviously, maybe in the end that could be something, but yeah.
The other thing to note is David Yu still runs his store, as far as I know, in New Zealand. Okay, so it's not like they're unreachable. You can find them if you really want. I wouldn't really be worried about that at all. They're going to the Comic Cons. They're going to all these different events every year. What makes you think they're going to disappear or something? Why do they need a big office?
Yeah, exactly. They are basement devs. Just that we are the Ecomi news distribution machine here. So we are also working from our flats.
Yeah, pretty much. That's true. I'm actually in a garage. That's why it's so noisy. I've got like a tin roof.
Oh, okay.
This is my garage. I'm actually I got like a whole office built here. I've even got like an air conditioner and stuff. You can see that up there.
Oh
Got,
yeah.
like,
So this is
all
something.
amenities. Oh, I broke it now.
This is something that we don't have in Germany. Almost no one has that in their homes.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, like for example, and I lived more than 3 years in Brazil. It is the opposite. Everyone has air conditioning, but when it comes to down to heating, actually, people do not have that. Like we have these big things from metal, right, on the walls that hot water comes through and just heats up the room in a not so dry way. That doesn't exist in Brazil. So actually, my first month in Brazil, I was freezing to death every night because that fucking hostel did not have what is it called, like a heating. Yeah.
No heater.
Yeah, so they didn't have that. Why? Because it just, like here, summer is only 2 months long, their winter is only 2 months long. So yeah.
That's funny. Well, like this is obviously it's a reverse cycle too. So heating, cooling, everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. So circling back a little bit to the whole thing with you said you sold you sold a company, an Amazon company, and then you talked about another company. You are an entrepreneur. You are your own boss, but you're still working to make money. Did you ever work like in a hamster wheel, 9 to 5, or were you always?
I did. Yeah, I did 4 years in the hamster wheel.
Okay.
It was really, really fun. I worked in a software company. It's called Trillion, and they were like a really interesting software company because they had multiple businesses inside it. So in the one business, they had like 5 or 6 businesses. They had a girl magazine, which does like magazines for women, and so they do like magazine articles every week and stuff, like mostly digital. It's like a digital magazine company. They had a registrar where they have domains, and I was actually a domain name administrator. That was my title, was like domain name administrator. I'd look after about 1 million domains, and about 500,000 of those they owned. They actually would buy domains that expire. They'd pick them up, and then I would go through these giant lists of domains and make sure there's no Disney trademarks or Marvel or anything else that's trademarked. And Amazon, you can't have any of those trademarks. I had to go through like these giant lists of domains and get rid of all the bad ones, and we'd have to sell them. And they were making like $12,000 a day from running ads on those domains, those expired domains.
Right.
So that was one. And then they had they had another company where they would do keyword research, and so people could buy lists of keywords of what people sort of like. Do you know anything about Google Ads or Google Keyword Planner tool? Yeah. So they had like the Google Keyword Planner tool. They had it years and years and years before that was a thing. So Google offered no keyword tools at all, but they had their own. I can't remember what it's called now. But they had a whole bunch of different business. So I saw that you could make money online from working there. I was there for like 4 years, 4 years in a 9 to 5. My boss was awesome. It was like casual dress. It was very relaxed. I was in an office. It was only like 10-minute drive away, so it was really easy to get to work. My boss let us turn up a little bit late if we wanted, so it wasn't super strict. So I could turn up like half an hour late, and I just have to stay half an hour late. And it was, and it was really, really, really eye opening. But then I had this experience, this enlightenment experience, which I've talked about once before. I don't know if you want to talk about it now. That'll probably go for another 2 hours. So, but
We're
yeah,
listening.
basically, I had LSD. I had a tab of LSD. My first time ever taking that, and I basically had like a Kindling awakening where I had like all this energy up and out of my body, and I felt amazing. I felt free. I felt like a new person. I felt like I was completely like reborn, and I saw everything around me. It was a beautiful blue sky day, like 35 degrees. It was absolutely amazing weather. We had like Pink Floyd music playing, and I was like asking questions like, why do I work? Like, what is an office? Like, what am I doing? I'm like working for someone else. I'm not working for myself. And like, so I had all these realizations, and I lost the fear of death. Never fear of death again, because we're all one and we live forever, and death is an illusion. And I had all these epiphanies and this crazy experience. It took me years and years and years to integrate. And so I'm just firing off a few words here and there now, but the actual experience was at the time was so life changing. I saw myself in the mirror as like I saw like what other people see, because normally we look in the mirror, we have a filter. We have an ego filter. So we see what we want to see in one way. We don't necessarily see ourselves. But after taking the LSD, I saw what other people see as myself. And so this really good experience. And I was like, yeah, I can't work in an office 9 to 5 ever again. I can't. So I really struggled going back to work after that. And I was doing some side hustles already. I had a website that had an algorithm that would, if you put in any domain, it will tell you what the domain is worth, like, or what the website's worth. It's called Real Web Worth. So if you put in, we'll say patienthodler.com, and you had a website, it'll look through all the index pages. It'll look at your domain rank, authority rank, all these different stats. And back then it was called PageRank, and work out what it thinks that your website's worth. And it'll give a valuation. It was like a public one. And Google would index every single page that would get evaluated. So whenever anyone typed any domain in, I would be ranking for thousands and thousands and thousands of keywords. And I ran Google ads on there. And so I was making a bit of money from that. And then I had someone reach out to me. They wanted to buy it for me from like $9,000. They wanted to buy this website off me. And that was about the same time that I had this LSD trip. And it took me maybe a few months to get ready, but I sold that website off. It gave me some free cash. I saved up a little bit of cash. And then I ended up like just leaving the 9 to 5 job. And yeah,
But
I was doing a few other things.
After your experience, you still went back to the job. You just knew every day.
Yeah,
I can't stay here.
It was really difficult, really, really difficult.
Okay.
But yeah, I managed to stay there for a little while. And my boss was really sad when I left, because he was such a cool guy. I used to like play ball with his son on the Friday. He used to give us beers on Friday, and we'd all drink up, and like, it was a very relaxed environment. He took us like snowboarding and stuff, and to like gold class movies. And like, our boss was awesome. And there's only a small office, like 10 to 20 guys. So I'm still friends with some of the guys that work there. In fact, one of the guys that still works there, he's coming over tonight to my house. We hang out on Thursday nights. So I'm still connected a little bit to that company. And I saw my old boss a few weeks ago, and I pulled up in my Tesla, and I was like chatting to him, and I was like, thank you for not letting me come back there. Because at one point in my journey of being an entrepreneur, I wasn't making enough money. And I was like, I called up my old boss. I was like, can I come back to work? I need the money. I need the job. And he's like, no, do your own thing. And luckily he said that, because I actually, I properly went to work and made some really good money. And I was able to now, drive up to my old boss and park out the front of my nice Tesla, fully clean and everything, and chat to him and have a good conversation. It was really good experience.
What would you say? Probably everyone having that that epiphany or that realization there, or not, right? There are a lot of people that know that they cannot stay in a hamster wheel forever, a lot of people feel that, besides having that big revelation. So what would you say or what would you advise, maybe not financial advice but life advice, someone that wants to break free from that hamster wheel and wants to start their own thing? What should they not technically do, but what should they have, which characteristics, which behaviors?
They definitely need to look at everything around them as an opportunity. There's so many opportunities, and you guys have it so easy now with the internet, and Shopify didn't exist back then when I did that, because that was like 12 years ago, when I went on my own. So it was a long time now. It's really, really easy to make money when you can change your mindsets around it. So I definitely would work on affirmations, learning, watching. There's so many good YouTube videos on how to improve your wealth, improve yourself. A lot of it is like in a game. I was very big into the pickup scene too, picking up girls. Again, we could talk about this for like another multiple hours, but that also helped give me a lot of confidence. That happened before the LSD trip. I was already on the self-development journey a little bit. That just improved, exponentially after I had that experience. But learning that we create our reality through our thoughts and through our vibration, and that it takes time to change beliefs inside ourselves to be able to learn that we can create our reality. And so like you see this office, for instance, I thought this office up in my mind and then I made it happen. The Riz himself needs to release his Riz course. I love it. Thanks, Justin. Like there's so many different things that you can do to help improve yourself. I was talking about this similar stuff with Crypto Rain around the Ecomiverse a couple of days ago, and Rain was saying just make sure you learn how to better yourself 1% every day, just 1%. Just
like James Clear, the 1% method.
Yeah, because if you try and do everything at once, you're going to have a hard time. But if you can just slowly build up your confidence and your inner game and learn a method of making money, and don't get the shiny object syndrome, which means that you look at, oh, this is good, I'm going to do Shopify. Oh, Amazon's good. Oh, this thing over here is good. I'm going to do crypto trading. I'm going to do 10 other things. That doesn't work very well. And you'll find like pretty much nobody gets anywhere when they keep switching. You need to just find something that you like, that you think you can do well at, do the best you can with improving your mindset, and then you need to pick one thing to make money on and go deep on it, go hard on it. If you're working 9 to 5, that's fine. Work 9 to 5 and then spend a couple hours every night on it. I mean, I was doing that too. Even before, for over a year before I left my job, I was working a couple hours a night. Especially if you don't have kids. If you don't have a family, it's obviously easier. If you do have kids, you're going to have to put extra effort in, and you might have to sacrifice something. You might have to sacrifice your Thursday night with the boys. You might have to sacrifice your mornings, no sleep in. Wake up at 5 a.m. when the kids are still sleeping, if they sleep until 6 or 7. Do an hour in the morning. There's so many different ways of making money now, though. Like online, there's like literally hundreds of ways. Like I'll just list a few that I know really well is obviously buying and selling products on Amazon, like finding a niche, finding a product, finding a gap in the market on Amazon, find a supplier, get the product over to Amazon, set up a listing, and you can start selling. And yeah, it takes time. 95% of people fail, right, at businesses just in general. It's a really high percentage of failure, but the 5% that succeed, usually that wasn't their first thing. Usually that 5%, they failed other things before that. So you can see failure as like a step. Like they were
in the 95% and now they're in the 5% because they tried it 5-10 times.
Yeah, they persisted because I persisted. If you think about this, I failed about 10 products on Amazon, right? I spent $20,000 on Amazon, and I made sales, right? But it wasn't enough. A lot of the products didn't do well. And then I just recently sold one of my brands for $250,000. I sold that brand for, which is awesome because that's how much it would have made over 2 or 3 years. But I made that instantly, and now I put that into crypto. So I'm going to multiply that $250,000, and I want to turn that into like 3-4 million over the next 2 years. And so I really think two things that I'll do is crypto and Amazon, crypto, Amazon, crypto, Amazon. And you know what? I'm going to build up a new Amazon brand during the next bear market. So that's my plan.
Nice.
I'm going to cash out a lot of the
Use
crypto.
the time when everything's down. Actually,
That's right.
shouldn't you build it during the bull market so that you can then buy crypto in the bear market?
Well, if you build it up during a bear market, and you've got a few years, it doesn't take that long. You can get a good product going over a few months, right? Even 1 year. And the bear market lasts what? Like it's sort of a year and a half to 2 years for a bear market. So you should still have a good chance to sell that brand off during that bear market towards the end of it before the big rally. So this is actually my new method I'm doing now. But yeah, Amazon FBA. So SoCal asked. It was Amazon FBA is what I was doing.
Yeah,
I did
exactly.
also do drop shipping. Drop shipping, I didn't really manage to make it sustainable, but like drop shipping is crazy. I sold $5,000 worth of stuff on eBay in 1 week, right? But my
Yeah.
profit margin was almost nothing. So,
Shit.
but you
Okay.
can sell really big just on eBay drop shipping. You can, and that was free traffic. eBay provided all the traffic. I paid nothing for it. So everything I made was profit. Um, but yeah, it's all about finding a good product, but you can do digital, right? There's a lot of digital things you can sell now. You can also there's affiliate marketing, right?
Yeah.
There's so many different things: Shopify, drop shipping, Amazon FBA. You can now do things like on Redbubble or Displate. These are places you can go and make designs, and if people
Mhm.
use those designs, then you get paid a percentage of that.
Yeah,
Uh,
like print on demand. Yeah.
that's
But
right.
I think that's the step of building that's all fine and well. But you said before that you started with self-improvement, which then helped you improve your way. So I think that basically everyone who is here watching content like this, everyone who is in crypto kind of is already on that journey, because otherwise they wouldn't have chosen a strange new asset to invest in when there's ETFs and the I call it the path of the matrix, like the blue pill path is out there where you could just go in retirement funds, and then when you are 85, you can live the life of your dreams, right? When you are in a bed, pissing into a bag, right? So yeah, but that's basically what they are selling you, and no one is asking the questions. But everyone who is here, by the way, smash up the like button if you like that. But everyone who is here is already on another journey. So
I
that
just want to
said,
quickly touch on what you said, because you said,
let's go.
when you're 85, you can retire if you do those index funds. But
Yeah.
if you actually think about that, most of the index funds are making like 6-7% per year.
So
True
not even that.
inflation, yeah,
Yeah.
true inflation is probably like 10%
Yeah.
at least. So you're losing money every year. You're losing
Yeah.
buying value, buying capacity. So realistically, you're still going to be broke at 85 in that scenario. So I feel like these days, with the current way the economy is working, you really need to swing harder, right? Make as much money as you can through different income sources, and then invest that money and multiply it as quickly as you can. And
Yeah.
obviously, that's why a lot of us are here with crypto, because we can see that you can multiply it. There's nowhere else you can get a 10x in a year, right? Like obviously, I did that with stocks a couple of times, but that was pretty lucky. And stocks are a lot less likely to do that, but you can still do that with microcap stocks. But with cryptocurrencies, it's
Yeah.
not financial advice. It's almost guaranteed, right? If you look at all the previous bull markets, altcoins just went insane, right? They just, like, some of them did like 100x, 1000x. I think, what did Shiba Inu and Doge do? They did even more than 1000x. They did multiple
Yeah.
thousands. Like you can't do that normally.
Now I got thrown off here because I actually wanted to lead that up with a question, and that is on the self-development part.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'll go back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem, because that was good. But what should people, if someone sits here right now watching the stream, what should that, like, where could that person start? I mean, there's so much. There's like from meditation to fitness, body and nutrition and affirmations and morning routines and getting up early versus I don't know what, like supplements. There's so much to do. Do you have anything like, do you where do you start? Do you start here? Do you start
Yeah,
here? Do you start,
read. Let me get some
what
books.
what
I'll
what
be right
are
back.
some book recommendations for us here?
We'll get this one to start with. This is The
Yo, okay,
Miracle
I have
Morning.
that one. Yeah,
that's
that is
a really
good.
good one to start with.
Yeah,
Because if you get your sleep right and your morning routine right, I find that like there's a momentum. So if you can get your morning momentum going well, the rest of your day generally goes a lot better. So I'd
yeah.
say that's a great book to start with. I've got
What
oh,
before you show the other one, I just wanted. Okay,
that.
yeah. Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill.
Yeah,
Also
if you
very
can just
very
read
good. Yeah.
these two books alone, this will change your life. This
The
one.
Miracle Morning one is why I started the Crypto Morning Coffee, because
Really?
yeah. I have, so I'm, and this is another one for you guys that want to get in this but are like drifting off after 2 lines of reading. Jordan reads, but I only listen to books because I cannot. I The only book that I was ever capable of reading without drifting off was Harry Potter, right? So I read all the books like 8 times, never drifting off, was super catching story. But everything else, I'm drifting off into my own monkey mind that tries to distract me with other stuff, right? So what I do is I have Audible, and I have that. So I call it an investment in myself with a like DCA of 10 euros per month. I get a free book, right? And then the rest is like extra DCA into myself when I buy another one in that specific month. But so whenever I do something, like when I cook, I either listen to YouTube videos or I listen to books. When I go on a bicycle and so on. So you can, by listening to books, you can improve the time. So for example, you can go work out and listen to a book at the same time. So yes, great 2 books. We need a third one. Do you have a third recommendation?
I can put it on here as well. This one's great for business and
How to
for
Win
just in
Friends
general.
and Influence People from Carnegie.
By
Yeah.
Dale Carnegie. You heard that one? You haven't read that
Yeah,
one?
I have that one as well.
There we go.
I have
They're
all
like
of them. Until now, you
principles
didn't
here.
show me anything new, but
I've
yeah.
got heaps more. I got like 50 more books
Okay,
back there.
go 2 more. Go 2 more. And guys, if you want, they are all good. The 3 ones are all good, and they really improve stuff. So I think it's always
We've got these
interesting
two.
what other people
Now
do. So
these two are a bit wild. These are both a bit more wild. Have you heard that
the
one?
way of the superior man.
Yeah, The Way of the
Okay,
Superior Man by David. I don't know say that.
I don't know that one, but I'll take note. Yeah. Okay, that's the first I don't know.
That one's probably more for like relationships and well, it's about being like
Okay.
a man. So it's really not for
Yeah.
women. If there's any women watching, so I assume there's
Yeah.
like 5%, 10% of the people watching are women, because
Yeah.
crypto seems to have more men. And this one,
And
you heard this one?
power.
Power. What is
I
it?
don't know that
The
one. What
48
is it
laws
about?
of power. The 48 laws
Okay.
of power.
What is it
That one.
about?
That one's wild. So it talks about different ideas of what can give you power. It's like a bestseller as well, but it's I haven't read that one fully, so
Okay.
I can't tell you too much about it. I've only started it, but I've been recommended it by multiple people. It looks really good.
Okay.
It's a little bit more wild. It basically says like you can have all these different things that can help influence you and make you powerful, but it also talks about like you can use the power for bad or for good. So it's a bit more wild.
It's like the force. It's like the yeah.
The force. The force is strong.
I
Um,
think,
yeah.
just touching quickly on the books, I think they are all like the first 3 I know because I read them. They're absolutely amazing. All 3 of them. I think they are very important, or at least for me, the Miracle Morning especially and the Napoleon Hill one. I think they are super great because basically the way of thinking. I want to add one book because many people lack one thing, and that is continuous working on the same thing. So for example, if some people think it's easy to sit down every morning and make a live stream about the current crypto topics, and so it's not, because you're sitting down in the evening after cooking and after work and everything, and you prepare a live stream for hours, and you're thinking about what could be the topics and so on. And you know that with around the Ecomiverse, you're talking to people who could come on, which topics you could prepare the questions. You are hours and hours with YouTube, right? So you probably agree with me. So my point is, there are some books that are about how to never give up and really go beyond yourself. And I think one of the best ones I've ever listened to, is even better listening to, is
Red. Yep.
from what is it called, the Now I have to pull it up here, but I will show it
That's okay.
because I have to.
I can talk for
Yeah.
a minute while you find it.
Yeah.
Energy says he gets up at he goes to sleep at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. So morning momentum is difficult. I just recommend not going to sleep late.
There you go.
Obviously, ooh, what's this one? Can't hurt me. Oh yeah, David Goggins. Yeah, he's awesome.
Goggins can't hurt me. This,
Yeah.
like, if you just listen to this after he tells his life story, how he got beaten up by his dad and so on, and how the family suffered, and he explains how he got from a fat man to a Navy SEAL, going 3 times through buds, like the basic underwater demolition thing, like where they completely get wrecked 1 hour without sleep. You think after that, you if you just get 0.5% of what he did, you're a Superman. So I just listened to this and I was like, sometimes you have this feeling like, oh, I can't just with 3 hours of sleep sit down and do a live stream, right? And then you listen to this and you're like, fuck that, I'm going to make a video, I'm going to make a live stream. I sleep only 2 hours. So it's really, really great to get you through this valley
So
of
like a motivator and like something to keep you going. Because I haven't read that book, but I've watched a lot of David Goggins. I know a lot about him. He's nuts.
Yeah, actually, it's he himself. The best quote of the book is actually what you touched on. He says, "Motivation is shit. You need drive, because
Discipline?
motivation is like you're 3 days you're motivated and then you're not, and that's the problem. You need like something continuous, and that's drive. It's like you have to love. Another one that he said I felt absolutely amazing is embrace the suck. It's like that's what I told people in the bear market in the video. It's like embrace the suck, because he just said if you open the door at 0 degrees and wind mixed with rain blows into your face and your mind thinks, I'm not going to run today because the weather, that's when you have to put on the shoes and just go out and really like, I love this stuff. Yeah.
Have you done like cold showers or ice baths or anything?
No.
You should try cold showers. So have a
Okay.
nice hot shower, then the last 1 minute, full cold. Try that. It's fun.
But I do, not always, but I do sometimes, but I go gradually because otherwise it's just
No. Cold. Full. You go full
I don't
cold.
know, man. But okay,
And you
I take
just
the
do
recommendation.
5 breaths in and out, and focus on your breathing, and try not to lose
Try
it.
not to guys, this is not medical advice. Don't try this at home, because if you do this from 0 to 100, you can collapse, right? So please,
It depends on the temperature of the water, right? Because I'm in Melbourne,
yeah.
it doesn't get that cold. If where you are, I think it gets a lot more
In
cold.
Germany, it gets freezing cold if you have real cold water.
So full cold for you might be like 10 degrees colder, like in the opposite direction. So that might not be good if it's like minus 10 degrees water, like freezing water comes out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing that you share these insights with us, and obviously, so for me, as I said, it counts who made that money. I will listen to get to the listen to what they did, not listen to them saying, hey, you need to do this right now, right? But listen to what they did to get to this level. I want to get to this level, right? So that's why yeah, I think it's very valuable you sharing how you got to the point where you are right now, and from there you have other goals, right? But for many of us, I think our goal is to get to where you are, right? Free from a hamster wheel, with a clear goal in life, probably after your revelation, and yeah, a lot of personal and financial success. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Like I feel like we could talk for another couple of hours easily, but I know
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up around an hour and a half. So,
we
but I
yeah
also
yeah
like
we are doing that right now.
yes, yeah. I was gonna say, doesn't matter. It's gone. But yeah, this is really, really fun. Thanks so much for having me on. I hope the people listening really like took this in and they get it. Oh, I had one important question for you. Are you gonna buy a Tesla?
So the answer is a straight no, because first of you mean when I have enough money for that, right?
Yeah.
So the answer is still
Black
no,
gold.
because I mean, I'm a German. I am in Germany, and we have 5 of the best car manufacturers in the world. And Tesla is not one of them. So
don't they have a Germany factory? They do have a Germany factory.
yeah, they have a factory in Germany, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at good old Mercedes, BMW. I'm in the town of BMW. If you go a couple of kilometers north, you're at Ingolstadt, where Audi sits. Then you have Porsche in the same city as Mercedes, and then you have Volkswagen. The only thing that I don't care about is Opel, right? But yeah.
Oh, that's okay. You can go a little bit slower than me. That's all right. Teslas are quick, man. They're really quick. They're fun.
We will see. I mean, we will see with the Tesla, but I mean, it depends.
You've got the Nürburgring there, right?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Oh man, it's dangerous, but that thing would be so much fun to drive on.
I think that's the thing. So whenever Ecomi goes like crazy wild and you don't have anything to be, you're just wiping bear marketeers with dollar bills because you don't know where to go anymore. Then you'll come over. We go to the Nürburgring, and then we get you into some car racing there.
I will hire a car for us. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Only 10 cents. Only 10 cents. I'm there.
Okay. So yeah,
thanks so much. Yeah.
It has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming on. We are definitely going to do another stream because, I mean, when we are getting into that self-improvement stuff and everything and outside of crypto and back into crypto, I think we can talk for hours. Maybe we will do that in the bull market to talk for many hours. But right now, I think that's it. I have to get up in a couple of hours already again. So
I forgot.
For everyone who is waiting for and wants to stay up, just a quick note: there will be no crypto morning coffee tomorrow because tomorrow I have a very important event to attend related to the hamster wheel that is so early that I cannot do the crypto morning coffee anymore.
No, well, hopefully you get a few hours sleep, man. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
So yeah, guys, before you head out, first of all, smash the like button, but then also subscribe to Jordan's channel. I think most people know you. You have an amazing channel with talk show that is called Around the Ecomiverse, where even recent, I think you will have David Yu coming on, right?
He's coming on this month. Yeah, this month.
Yeah, so this month, which means that you guys have to be subscribed to the channel and with a bell ticked to know when exactly that Around the Ecomiverse will launch. You will see it on the photos when David Yu is in these AI generated photos. Then you will, then you will know that this big stream is coming on. But yeah, do that right now. Go to this channel of Jordan, hit subscribe, and then we all go to bed.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Everyone, have a good time and see you in the next stream. Bye.